I do appreciate all the cooking with Genesis, guys. I love Genesis. I really do love Genesis. I think it's the future of Yu-Gi-Oh, by the way. Like, they are pushing it to be like, this is the format you get into Yu-Gi-Oh with, which I hope it takes off like that. Like, I'm not hoping it kills Modern, because Modern, I think, is always going to be the classic, right? But, no pendulums and links is a very good thing for Yu-Gi-Oh, in my opinion. I do think Yu-Gi-Oh changed the moment links came out. Yu-Gi-Oh almost did a full change with pendulums, but the moment links came out, Yu-Gi-Oh changed. Like, cards were used differently the moment links came out, right? You could now do something with nothing. Before, you did nothing, right? Like, you can't just convert two bodies into a link pre-2017, and just like the amount of just you can squeeze the value out of your cards with links, like it just, that's why combos got so insane, guys. Like that was the moment Yu-Gi-Oh changed, was links. The moment. It's not even Master Rule 4, it's like the moment it, like, it's just links itself. Like, I know you guys aren't really too familiar with my cube. I feel like I have something very special with this Yu-Gi-Oh cube I've made, but you know, that one has no links or pendulums, and dude, you can get to turn 30 on some of these games, like, consistently. Like, that's so cool, man. If you play a Yu-Gi-Oh game, you go turn 30, you don't know who the winner is the whole time. Like, you're just playing back and forth. It's all about just, like, you know, micromanaging the little, like, you know, the grind game, essentially, every turn, versus just, like, spewing your load and hand comparing a lot of the time. And obviously, modern Yu-Gi-Oh isn't all hand comparing. It's just like the hand trap mini game sometimes. That's what I like about modern card, like the new card design with Yummy and like Dracotel and Canine. To a lesser extent, I do feel like these decks actually do punish you for not playing well, because there's so many interactions, or so little in the case of Dracotel, that you get hard punish for misplaying, which is a good thing. To balance out modern Yu-Gi-Oh, instead of just because with Ryzeal, you couldn't misplay with Ryzeal. That's why I genuinely felt like the format where pure Ryzeal was best, next to Malice, was a hand comparing format if you played Ryzeal. And that made me never want to play a modern deck, or a the best deck again, because the mirror matches were horrendous. I would just hand compare, essentially, right? Like, who misplays on resolving X Ryzeal, right? It's very difficult to fuck up in X Ryzeal. Very difficult. In Ryzeal, they have as many pushes, kind of like Dracotel, but like with Dracotel, it's like, okay, do I dump my whole hand into this Altharion, right? Like, how do I sequence with between Ketu Rahu and Femina and Malulu? There's a lot more that goes into playing Dracotel than Ryzeal. So those are my, you know, I do think modern card design is making it so Yu-Gi-Oh is more skillful. You know, I think tier format was quite skillful. I just think a lot of what some formats just sometimes boil down to if you're playing the best deck, and then like Snake Eye format was like, okay, you could enjoy Snake Eye format kind of if you played Snake Eye, or just one of the decks that were close to Snake Eye. Like, Branded was so good up until Fiendsmith release. Like, Branded was a top 3 deck in Snake Eye format. People always love to forget. Up until Fiendsmith. Once Fiendsmith came out with, like, and then the Impulse came out, it was a whole different story, but... And then Branded Fusion went to 1. I have said it, and I'll say it again, Genesis is the greatest thing to ever happen to Yu-Gi-Oh, says Young Summer. I'm starting to believe that, too, actually. I'm not that much of a Genesis simp, but, like... I've been saying for years, guys, like, I made a video, giant, like, Yu-Gi-Oh needs to change. Like, and Konami knows this, the stockholders know this. This is the change that's coming, right? And TCG is going to take it by the horns and not have to wait for OCG to tell them what to do. TCG is like, okay, OCG, y'all fucked up with links and pendulums. We're going to make our own format that you guys have nothing to do with, and Billy Break and Jerome get to balance it, and like all these other creators who have like who have had an input on Genesis the last 2 years. Like, round of applause to Konami. This is like, I don't think people realize it, but this might genuinely become it might overtake the TCG, because of the fact that, like, I think the TCG has just like, the people who run the TCG there know what they're doing. They're just so fucking constrained by what the OCG tells them to and not do, right? Like, it's up to them on so much. So I think the solution, a very big brain solution, was making a TCG only format that the OCG has nothing to do with, right? Like, why do you think we take 6 months for a ban list? It's because of fucking OCG. You know, we have to approve our ban list through them, right? Like, with product cycles and everything too, it's like, it was like, with this and on top of the time rules, like, Konami TCG, like, I know y'all fucked up by killing Time Wizard, but like, besides that, y'all have been on a roll between the ban okay, but someone brought this up on the JRB podcast. The biggest complaint of the TCG, so I'm not just, you know, filleting the TCG that hard. The biggest mess up the TCG has done in terms of balancing with Yu-Gi-Oh! In the last 2 years has been waiting way too long to hit decks. It took them a year to hit Snake Eye. A year! It took them. Snake Eye came out in February. Ryzeal came out, I believe, around January or February of the next year. Something like that. Maybe it was like earlier in the, maybe it was like late summer. It was almost a year. Yeah, no, it was like December. It was around December or something like that when Ryzeal came out for sure, because I remember Fiendsmith came out in the fall. And Azamina came out in the fall, rather. Azamina came out in the fall. They take way too, like, they are really afraid of hitting. So that's why it's like, when people are complaining about the Vanquish Soul hits, it's like, do we not want them to hit a deck when it's stayed too long? Like, did you guys really like Snake Eye being the best deck for a year? Who can sit here and say with a straight face they liked Snake Eye format for a whole fucking year? Like, I will say, Konami, y'all have been killing it over there in the TCG. Billy Bragg, Jerome, you know, everyone who has had a part in making these changes. Jesus Christ, please keep hitting decks sooner than later. Because that Snake Eye form, like, 2024 was, it just felt like a year of Yu-Gi-Oh! I'd like to forget once Fiendsmith came out. I felt like the format before that was fine, but like, and Agov was like fine, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Agov was fine. It's just like, then the Fiendsmith came out, and yeah. Genesis implies we will have a unified ban list with the TCG OCG, considering this has been a massive success as we've seen Genesis I mean, I hope that never happens, frankly. Unless the OCG lets the TCG balance the ban list. I hope that never happens. I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Got infinitely better the moment that they split the ban list from the OCG. And the TCG has shown time after time that they know how to balance the list, and the OCG just does not. Like, we were the ones who banned Kit, Baron, Apo before the OCG, right? Like, Kiklos, we had to ban Kiklos before they banned Kiklos, right? Like, we hit VS before they hit VS, like, and we hit them harder, which was correct. Genesis also grants effective communication with Konami, which is something we thought exactly too, because they can't quite talk about the official stuff, I think, with impunity, but they can with Genesis. We finally have that Mort Dog, that Teamfight Tactics type of Riot Games interaction with devs to community. That's insane to me, guys. That's why I think Genesis has like high potential to just be the thing in 20 years that keeps Yu-Gi-Oh! Alive. That's why I recommend trying it out, guys, because in supporting it, because Yu-Gi-Oh! Needs this, in my opinion. Like, Modern is not approachable, and trying to make it approachable is not working. Like, it's making the format better for the people who play it, but it's not like people are like signing up for regionals in droves that weren't already, right? Like, for Modern, I think people will be coming back for Genesis somewhat, but I do think it's somewhat also, they need to get it right. I don't think it's perfect by any means, but the fact they released a ban list a few days after the announcement was it, and they keep communicating. Like there were some new articles today about Genesis on the Konami blog that were talking about just like, if you're a person returning from Zexal, this is what changed. If you're a person returning from 5Ds, this is what changed. If you return, if the last you played Yu-Gi-Oh was GX era, this is what has changed. Like that's so smart, man. I think that goes back to the fact that that OCG Konami just controls things with an iron grip and doesn't let the TCG, who they should genuinely give the reins of the whole IP, the whole card system, like everything. You know, if they want Yu-Gi-Oh to be saved, I think the TCG knows what they're doing for the most part. Genesis, I wonder how they're gonna handle the points distribution every month. I mean, I think they're just gonna be like hitting new, like anything from FTK strategies to like new cards. I don't think it's gonna be like, I think a lot of the stuff that's already set in stone will be set, except for like quality of life stuff, like, you know, like making some things more expensive or less expensive depending on how overtuned or undertuned they are. And finally, Genesis makes it so that we have a very fluctuating ban list. It's very easy to incorporate with a points base. I mean, yeah, I do think the ban list system's super cool. It's almost like a resource system. It's like, oh, you can't just fucking run 20 fucking hand traps without having a terrible deck, right? I literally have more reasons as to why I feel like Genesis is peak of Yu-Gi-Oh, but those are the main points. I mean, I agree, honestly. I play Cube, and Cube is like brothers with Genesis, dude. Like the formats are so similar. I was like, really? This is like constructed Cube instead of drafting packs. I get to take it from anything, but there is a ban list I have to adhere by, right? That's pretty like all encompassing, right? Like it's like a self-reinforcing mechanism the way they do the point distribution, which is really smart. It makes it so they don't have to like have a ban list full of like 10,000 cards, right?